Hey Facebook people and YouTube people and people. Hi, my name's Patty Ann Waho, forgot my name, and I am an intimacy soul connector. That is my job, and I'm just playing a little bit of music in the background. And the reason is I want to show you one of my techniques before I get started on our subject today, which is it time to leave the relationship? Like, you're kind of done, and so you don't know where to go from here. So what better way to loosen it up to Sammy Johnson, beautiful Māori boy who travels all over America, New Zealand, and Australia. And so let's shake it out. Let's dance. I'll turn it up a bit loud for you. I love this guy. What's your name? Dance with me. Well, I'd like to get to know you, and baby, I can show you a good time. I said, hey, what's your name? Sammy Joe, if you don't know who he is, he's an amazing man, and a little bit breathless, but that's all good, eh? So, if you ever wondered how to get out of your funk or to clear, dancing's the key, singing, toning, but whatever changes your state. But I do a lot of dancing, just all by myself, and I'm good with that. So I hope you did dance with me, and if you didn't, I hope you watched and had a good laugh. It's all about entertainment, eh, peeps? But so today's subject, I want to get right into it because it's obviously I've been through it, so I want to give you my pearls of wisdom. And different people, actually had a couple of ladies here. We smashed out some work together, and they both left their partners a few years ago, and so I kind of asked their feedback as well, and it's like, oh yeah, exactly the same as mine as well, so it's pretty much same. So I get lots of prospective clients come to me like at that fork in the road, wanting to leave, not quite sure, second guessing their decision, and don't know whether to go left or right or straight ahead, and people worry about the time they've invested already into the relationship. So there's lots of unanswered questions, and so I'm just going to give you 3 tips just to see, I suppose, how to make that decision for you, because no one else can make that decision but you. And I know a lot of us have asked our friends when we're going through that, what should I do? And that's it's a huge responsibility to ask one of your friends what you should do, because ultimately it is your decision. And if you give that, I wouldn't say responsibility, but if you pass that decision over to someone else and ask them for their feedback, it's like you're giving away your power, and ultimately you want to make that decision all by yourself, because you're a powerful person, whether you're a male or female, and the decision needs to be from that, hand on heart, that you've done everything in your power to make this relationship work, and it just hasn't shifted to where it needs to shift, and you just basically would say, I'm done. So to avoid that, or to make sure that you've made a decision that is concrete within yourself, and that you know that's the best decision that you've made for yourself and children, if you have that, I'm just going to share how. So the first one is a mind dump, and I explain a mind dump very much like having a detox on your body. I've done, I think, a detox twice, successful one, like one I've done for the whole 3 days and 5 days, and oh my god, it's hard work, but the outcome is just amazing. I felt amazing, and it's very much like your mind, because if you think about, your mind is just full of toxicity, because if the relationship hasn't been working for you, or you feel dead inside, you might be with a person, and he or she might be the nicest person ever, but there's just no love towards you, and so you're trying to talk yourself into that relationship because there's no excuse why you shouldn't love that person. But it is what it is. If you don't love the person, then you've tried, and you end up beating yourself, it's not going to work. So a mind dump really helps. And how you do a mind dump, you get a book, obviously any book, sort of like, no, that's not a book, but just any book, and you basically just, you can do pros and cons, but really pros and cons for me, it sort of talks you in and out, and you know, you're not really in the right mindset right now to do pros and cons because you're looking at it from a different perspective. Your rose-colored glasses are on, so your pros and cons might be a little bit fucked up. And so I just say mind dump, because you're not labeling anything and you're not putting anything in the pros or the cons. It's just like freestyling, free writing, and you'll be amazed what comes out when you just write, like with a pen or pencil, I should say, rather than type it. Once you let your ego step aside and overthinking it, and you just write. And how I get people to start is, most people don't want to write, and so they say, oh my god, I tell them to write this. Oh my god, I hate writing. This is a waste of my fucking time. What good is it going to do, I should say, by writing? And you literally write that, and the pen cannot leave the paper. Okay, so that's a little bit of so that keeps you on point. And then you'll start saying things like, I just want out of this relationship, or I just can't deal with his or her shit, and then you'll start listing what's going in your mind. And because you're basically detoxing your mind to get all of that out of you and onto paper, because it's literally eating you up from the inside out, and so much freer and so much more healthier to get all that shit out of your head onto paper. Okay, so that's the first one, is mind dump. And you'll be surprised that what comes on paper, and whatever does come, whatever you create on that piece of paper, please don't judge yourself. Please be kind to yourself and just look at it with an open heart of what's really going on for you, because you know your body can't lie. You're free writing, and it's just you're freestyling, free writing. What needs to come out more. So that's the first one. The second one is starting to learn how to trust your intuition. So if you have been in a relationship that hasn't served you, whether it's been abusive, or as I said in the first example, he or she may be crazy nice, but you just were never meant to be together from the get-go, but that person may have felt safe, and so you've kind of pushed yourself into the relationship because the past, whatever you had in the past, just didn't really serve you, and so this person felt like home. I do air quotes when it's like when you lie to yourself. So trusting that intuition, and so when you start to trust your intuition, for me it's this gut feeling. It's just a certainty that I can't deny it. It's just rock solid. But to get to that, to even get there, you have to test. You have to train it. It's like going to the gym and doing weights. You only might just do squats with a bar, and then you put 5, and then you put 10 and 20, except if you're a Polynesian, you need to do triple that. But basically that's what your intuition is like, training your intuition. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, that sounds awesome, Patty, how do I train it? Awesome question that I just asked myself to ask you. Easy stuff. How did I train mine? Because I was in an abusive relationship, and so my intuition before that was switched on, but I didn't realise it was. I didn't realise that's what it was. And then in that relationship, those 2 major relationships, they chose to tell me things that obviously were not true, and I chose to accept them as truth. And so with that, that's where my intuition was very much lacking, because I second-guessed everything about what I was doing and who I was and blah, blah, blah. So if you have been in a relationship like that, that's where you have to start training this intuition, so it's just so strong. You have this strong sense of self that you just don't second guess. And how to train it is I did really small tests. So for instance, if someone invited me out to a function, I do this now, and I feel into it. Feel into it is like I place myself at that event, and I ask myself, by going to that event, what am I going to get from it? And not from a selfish kind of perspective, but does it serve me to actually attend? And basically I list off whether it is a good fit for me to be there. Are the people the right people that I like to attract? and just, I start asking myself those questions. If I get enough no's, then I don't go. And if it feels that push, that I need to go, or, it's that self-talk where I'm talking myself into it, that again is a no. So it's little things like that. Now that even might be a stretch for you, so then try something else. Like if your kids ask you to do, for you to do something for them, this is really good for parents, because most parents say yes without thinking, because we can be yes kind of people when it comes to our children, like a doormat. And so try out your intuition and your yes and your no, and how your body reacts to that. That's a really good way of really strengthening your intuition for a full body, as we say in Dancing Heroes, full body fuck yes, or like, nah, that's not sitting well with me. I'm not liking that. So, and especially if you are a parent, that's a really good one, because, as I said, natural abilities, or natural sort of answer, I should say, is yes. So start saying no. And when I first started doing that, my kids reacted big time. They didn't like it. They even told me I was selfish, and I said, thank you. Yes, I am. I am putting myself first. And it's good training for you too, on how to do that. Most kids don't know how to react to that, because, I am being selfish. It is about me. So even when you're driving, and for some reason, your exit might be exit 73, but you take exit 71, for some reason your car just goes that way, and you're like, that's weird, I go this exit 73 every day, all day, why have I taken this? Just go with it. There's a reason why. And that's like really trusting your intuition. You might see something that you need to see, or you just never know. So stop questioning stuff that just naturally happens. So let me know if the intuition part, if you need any more help with that and understanding that more. Just check in the comments. I'll have to read it after. I can't see the comments right now. And the third one is, when you're in that relationship, you need to start asking yourself, are you living a lie? And for a lot of people in a relationship for a very long time, talk themselves into staying because of so many reasons. And one lady I was talking to, it was because her father and her mother were never around, and so her grandparents brought her up. And so she always worked extra hard in a relationship for that man to stay around because of her abandonment issues. And so sometimes you have to ask yourself, are you overcompensating for something that's happened in the past? And and like checking in, is this my truth, or is this just a lie that I've fabricated over my lifetime? And start questioning your actions. So that is, I say living a lie, but it also, what it means to say is start developing your tool of self-awareness. Self-awareness is an amazing tool to really master, because you can start looking at your shit, you can start owning it, you can start being responsible for whatever's going on. But just be careful that when you start having this self-awareness and this ownership, that you don't go to the other end of the pendulum where you blame yourself for every fucking thing in this world, because that's not truth. That's, again, you're lying to yourself. So it can go to the other end. The other end of the scale. And so you've got to be very careful. It's like a person that might be extremely overweight for most of their life, and then they get a taste of the good life, and they start working out, and they start taking supplements, and they go to the gym every day, and they start looking incredible, and then they want to take you to church, they want to start taking you to the gym, and they'll just preach to you till the cows come home, because they're so passionate about it, which is awesome, that's their passion, but then they just can drive you insane because they've gone to the other end of the pendulum. And so it's very much like that, just to be very mindful of what's going on for you when it comes to self-awareness. So I hope those 3 points sort of helped you make a decision that's best for you. And so I'll go over them again, is to do a mind dump, start trusting your intuition by, working on it like a muscle, because it is a muscle. And also the lies, ask yourself the lies that you're telling yourself, and that in turn will start developing your self-awareness. And then when you come to that decision, and it needs to be a decision that has ebb and flow. For me, I had this gut, there was so many so many signs, so many like, hello lady, wake up Patty, but as most people do, they keep ignoring and ignoring until something comes punch in their face and then they look. But for me, it was something quite small, but I just had enough. That gut was rumbling and it was like, I need to see my truth. And so what I did say is, show me something tangible right now that I can like hold on to, that I can see that I'm not going crazy and that what I feel is truth. The very next morning I found something on the computer. So I'm like, thank you. So you have to ask for it, because most people that don't make these decisions because they don't want to see their truth. So if you want to see your truth, you need to ask for it. And so by then you can make your decision and you can put your hand on your heart and say, I gave it all I could and it still wasn't enough. I still couldn't do what I needed to do. And then it's time to leave, or it's time to move on or have a break. And having a break is a whole other video, which I can do another time. But I truly hope that helps, because that's what I'm here for. Now, if any of this resonates with you, and I love doing these, just on a side point, I love doing these weekly lives for me, because for me, my my thing that I needed to work on for me personally was consistency. And so for me, it's awesome because I'm consistently doing what I love to do. So yay for me. But what I do is I help powerful, busy people, like the kind of powerful people that in business, they're like powerhouses. They just have crazy success, and then when it comes to their relationships, whether they're in a relationship or not, it's just like shit. And they're sitting there asking themselves, I don't understand. They're at that, they're at that, I always say, sitting on the fence, getting a sore ass crack. They honestly don't understand. I can be so amazing here, and yet in my relationship, or the lack thereof, like, what's going on? So those are the kind of people that I personally help. And I help you develop your strong sense of self and who you are, because some people get lost in their partner, or codependency, or insert blah 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 here. And so working with me, I have a 12-session mentoring package that's delicious, as am I, and I would love for you to work with me. So if that sort of sounds like something that really is getting me fired up, PM me, or there's a link that I will pop there, and just, let's have a chat. So that is all from me today. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but guess what we've got for next week? So excited by next week. Okay, I'm taking a deep breath because this is exciting. So not very many people, apart from the people that are in my circle, I'm part of Dancing Eros, which is, it's obviously a dance, but it's ways to sort of embed and embody the 5 sexual archetypes. And Zoe, I'll be interviewing Zoe, so she'll be coming to my home, and we're basically going to share. She'll share her story. I'll ask her a few interview questions, and sort of share with whoever's listening why dance, and especially Dancing Eros, is just an amazing part of my life, and those who actually are part of it as well. So that's next week. I'm really, really excited to have her here. She is super juicy, like gorgeous. She's so lovely. So you guys will absolutely love her. And she does have a men's and women's thing coming up. So that's next week, Monday, 11 minutes past 1. And until my next video, remember that when you're in front of someone, get connected with them. Have courage to do that, and always live your life congruently. Ciao for now.